What If It's Cool is proudly brought to you by Respo Clothing. Feel like a champion by wearing the merch from all the stars, including Luke Resner, B Squared, Savannah Rowe, John Stop Action, Nova Nichols, The Cooters, and my personal favourite, Conflict Axiom. So feel like a champion by checking out Respo Clothing. They can be found on Facebook and on Instagram. In the mood for some wrestling? Make sure to check out the Melbourne Wrestling Show every Thursday at 10 PM on Channel 31. Need a custom entrance video, graphic, or hyperreel made? Make sure to check out Goated Wrestling Media on Instagram so you too can be the greatest of all time. Want your best dance moves or sporting event captured on film? Make sure to check out Have a Nice Day Productions, where every day is a nice day. Need some promo shots or your event filmed and edited? Or make sure to check out Adrian Casco Media for all your media needs. Want to stand out from the crowd with an amazing photo shoot? Or make sure to check out Jamster Photography so you too can stand out from the crowd. It's Reaction Wrestling Wednesdays, and my God, has it been... I still can't believe John actually put this out. It's been 6 fucking months since we've actually done this, and I have to apologize because it's actually been my fault because I obviously moved back into my house, and I've been fucking lazy. I'm just going to be flat honest. And Johnny, how you been, man?
So it's been 4 or 5 months, going on 6 months now. In that time, I've had 4 stitches removed from my eye. I said 6 to you in the chat, Dan,
Yes,
and then
you did.
I realized that my ADHD can't fucking count. But I had 2 taken out in September, 2 taken out in December, and as we record this, hopefully 2 more out in March. They're going to do 2 stitches every 3 months, which will take us to December of this year. That's 3.5 years of having stitches in my fucking eyeball, for people doing the math, if you're wondering why I'm such a grouchy bastard at times. But yeah, it's on the up and up. The vision is slowly but surely getting... I still can't read and write and stuff, but in terms of shapes and
You
colors...
never could before anyway.
Well, touche. But shapes and colors constantly getting sharper and sharper. I'm at an awkward stage now, and obviously I haven't been able to work through this whole time, where the government considers me legally blind without considering me being legally blind. So, yeah, makes sense of that.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, but before we introduce our guest, we need to have an update on our challenge that we started fucking nearly 8 months ago. How are those cameos? You got anyone? Have you got any yet?
I have had approximately 0,
and I've had a resounding 0. I'll be fun honest. I thought you were going to have one at least by now. I didn't think I knew I was never going to get any.
I honestly, because I just started it for shits and gigs, I keep forgetting to promote it, and then I'll look in the link tree and be like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Also, before we get started with this episode, we just have to have a quick shout out to our mate Kobe Reed and Sicko Smacks. They've started a podcast again. So
yes.
It's now called because they've changed the name again, because now our old mate Bo Hocking, or Bo Bowman, or Bo, we don't know what his next name change is going to be, and he's going to be George Julio's next opponent. It's called was it Sick Kobo podcast? So yeah, definitely check that out, because it's actually pretty funny, and I actually enjoy doing watching them talk a lot of crap, and yeah, it's fun. Who we got today, Johnny?
So today, this strapping, beautiful man, all the way from Sydney, New South Wales, is one half of Torture and Trauma Services, aka Torture. He's recently been on Court in Conversation, so cheap plug, go listen to that. Was out for a little bit with a shoulder injury, I do believe, and we'll get more into that. And this was obviously Torture will tell us about the match we're actually reacting to, but this was only night 2. This was his second match back, and 2 nights in a row, and it's a pretty big opponent. But yeah, we got Torture here. I'm pretty excited. He's been probably gonna have to beat this. He's been racking lines and fucking nines. I stole his bit, but it's Torture.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to have to put copyright on that or something. I'm going to need to put something on it. I need a trademark. I need at least $2.50 every time you say it, mate. I got to make that big wrestling money.
I will say, though, when we did the episode, again, cheap plug, but when Nova did the intro and stuff for you, I wasn't expecting her to throw that out there. So when she just goes, he's back from fracking, I was just like, I was looking at her like, what? And she, like, I don't know how she did it with a straight face because once we stopped recording, she was like, oh my God, I got to swear on the podcast. I'm like, it's our podcast. Like, who gives a shit? Like, you've been allowed to swear the whole time.
It's one thing I think if I have to put myself over, I can do probably just a good one-liner every now and then. I've managed to come up with a good one.
I think you said that like one time, one night on True Story, just as a throwaway, and now it's just,
It's just been,
stuck.
it's just stuck. It's like I've thrown shit at the wall, and that one's just managed to stick there.
Oh, Jesus.
It's funny how like the most littlest thing that you can say, then it becomes like your fucking catchphrase for the rest of your life. You know?
Isn't
Oh,
that wrestling though? Like,
I know, right?
that's what happened to me. I got stuck with it. I called someone a square, and I've told
Was
them
it B squared though?
no, it was just calling them a square, and I yell at them all saying like it's a 2D shape. Like surely you've went to school. It's cheap, easily done. But all it was me and Trauma having an inside joke of people that only see the world in black and white. There's no grey. You don't see outside your box. You're a square. And then for all we've known, that's just pretty much the gimmick now. The whole gimmick is, you're a square. It's a Squares Wrestling Association. It's square this, square that. Everything's a fucking shape.
I just from that one little speech there, the things that first came to mind, B squared and the grey. You know, like I reckon if you guys did a I don't know, a tag team, fuck, dollar signs in my head right now. Just from that one bit. My boys B squared and yeah, the idiots of the grey. If you're watching this, let's make it happen.
It
Easily.
literally just reminds me though of when the Good Brothers just threw out nerds. And now I'm like, nerds! It's just a thing. Like it wasn't even intended. Like
No, it's just one of them things that crept in, and we're just like popping ourselves, and we're like, this is funny. Like no one knows what's going on, but we do. So let's just keep rolling with it. So we kept yelling at everyone, going, bloody, it's a shape. Surely you went to school. So for years, people thought we were calling them a legitimate shape, and we're having a giggle between ourselves, going, we know what we're really calling you.
I don't know. As someone that came through the New South Wales school system themselves, it doesn't do any favors.
I was lucky. I got trained by one of the better ones in Sydney, so I was fortunate.
All right. So, what match are we actually talking about today? And what's the story behind it?
So, the match that we're going to be watching today was shit. No, it was me as Torture against Robbie Eagles at Integrity's To the Moon Tour Night 2.
I believe it was the 16th of November.
I believe so, yeah. Oh, may have been the 17th. No, hang on. It was either the 16th or the 17th. I know my birthday was the 18th, and the back-to-back before my birthday killed me. Then the drinking session that followed obviously didn't help that. And then this one, for no one else's doing but my own. It was a match that was going to happen the week after I broke my collarbone.
Oh.
I set myself very high expectations of what I believe I could bring to the match, because let's be fair, Eagles is a fucking gun. So I set myself high expectations, and I came back from the collarbone the night before. And when I wrestled Luke Watts, I knew little things that I do I was struggling with. So there was probably almost a lot of doubt, in the sense of I was starting to doubt my ability. I was starting to doubt, could I do this? Like, then as the night went on, I just sort of got that mentality of, well, I don't need to be as good as I was 7 days a week. Surely I can be as good as I was for one fucking night. And like you could easily tell, I wasn't in the greatest shape. Like I was coming back from 4 comminuted breaks, which normally takes about 12 months to be back into work. I was back into work by 6 and was back wrestling by 9. So like this match itself to me was one of them ones I needed to show up and show out for. So I think that's why I probably hold it in a little higher of a regard, if that makes sense. And hopefully, which we'll find out today, hopefully it was able to deliver.
But have you watched this match back before or no?
I personally haven't had a chance. I've been given constructive feedback on the match, which Robbie did give me some after the match, which is great. Obviously, Trauma, who promotes integrity, gave me his, and Sarge, Ethan Hughes, was in the crowd, who he was giving me some as well. But me personally, no, I've never sat there and watched the match back.
Well, this is going to be exclusive. And with that being said, let's get right into the action.
This next matchup is scheduled for one
God, I
fall.
love his voice.
I love this guy's voice.
Introducing first to the ring, hailing from Western Sydney, weighing in at 95 kilograms,
I got all the respect.
Torture!
Such a cool full circle moment for me, like to have him introduce my first match ever.
We saw Torture
and to have
appear
him do
last
it
night
again was awesome.
in our main event. He made a surprise appearance coming out, just absolutely annihilating Robbie Eagles. We need to get answers here. We need to.
Yeah, I'm
find out
confused because I
why.
thought the other fella was the ring announcer.
Just
Yeah, Joey's
about to
usually
ask
pretty
the
good.
same question myself is Torture coming out, effectively eliminating Robbie Eagles from that contest, preventing him from winning the integrity.
I love the stage of this. Like,
I
I
love the
wish we had this sort of stuff in Victoria.
Was last night
Yeah,
business.
okay, we got my kids in the front row. I'll take that.
Find out exactly the motive of Torture last night. Maybe a couple
And this is your second match back,
opponents will help
second match
us
back,
find
yeah?
out.
Yeah, so I had my first match back the
Right
night
now
before
in the ring,
Hmm.
Torture
against Luke Watts.
getting
For somebody
ready.
who was taken out for that long, and you show no nerves or anything, or even any ring rust, like when somebody's been away for that long, you know.
Oh,
lot of
mate,
confidence.
I was playing it cool. I was terrified.
It doesn't show, man.
No, I'm telling you here, like I actually got to give credit to the integrity locker room. Funnily enough, like a lot of the boys got around me, tried to put them, them doubts and them second thoughts out of my mind. So I've got to full credit to those boys.
Robbie Eagles, the sniper of the skies, making his way to the ring here at St. Mary's. Bit of a mixed reaction here. Robbie Eagles, usually a fan.
It is a great
favourite,
venue.
but tonight in Western Sydney,
It looks like a fun venue.
the crowd is behind Torture.
Oh, there we go.
Robbie Eagles not wasting any time.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Wanted to get his hands on Torture.
I will say, shout out to Robbie Eagles, though. He took the time out of his busy Japan schedule to do a cameo for my brother for his 18th birthday.
Oh, what a nice guy.
He's a good bloke, Rob.
Three other people, and I have my back. You want to be there to fight me at that point, but we have a match scheduled for tonight, and you want to get out of the ring? I know what type of guy you are, and you
Legend.
are a coward.
Hey, is this a family-friendly show? So you can't swear at him?
No, I can't swear
Are
at
these your
him.
mates?
Ah, bugger.
Are these your mates? You're gonna
You
need to
see,
back up at
you hear him. He
this.
says, "I'm a legend."
Because
He's
I
a legend. He
spoke
just
to
accidentally
Dino
got legend and coward mixed
And
up.
this match is happening tonight whether you like it or not. And I will not leave this ring. I will not leave this building until I get my hands on Torture. So whether you want to go out to the pokies, whether you want to go to the buffet,
Yes.
I will find you. I will drag
Oh wait,
you
so is this in a like a pub pub place? Is it?
In a leagues club.
Far out.
Eagles laying it out.
But that's okay. Otherwise, if you don't want to get in,
Anyone in Victoria? How come we can't have shows like that? I'd love to fucking do a show in a pub sort of venue.
It'd
be great.
I love those RSL type venues, honestly.
Oh, I love him.
Closest thing we got is when we got Matt Society when we do stuff in a bar. That's the only thing, but there's no ring.
Without like having a like awkward cheap plug, I'm actually excited for the next ECW show because we're doing VIP tables up in the bistro area now. So that's going to be sick.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Robbie Eagles may not want what he gets, may not like what he gets when
On my
Torture gets
time.
into
Here we
that
go.
ring.
Here we go. Killing time. Doing what I do best. Absolutely nothing.
Torture's just taking his time here.
Also, love the mullet, man.
Yeah, the long hair's gone. As you can see from the bold spot, it didn't have long left in it.
Torture coming up behind Robbie Eagles. And that's the thing, you have to be ready.
Could
at
pull your
all
pants up,
times.
Mitchell.
And Torture has picked his moment there.
Oh, mate, everything was falling off me. Everything was not a good, like gear-wise, not a great weekend.
Oh, that means you lost a lot of weight, mate. That's all. That's a plus in my book.
I lost a lot of muscle too.
Oh no.
You have to think that jet lag is kicking in right about now. It's got to play a factor.
But see, even something as basic as that, Torture, that's got to make you nervous as fuck, right?
I'm nervous for the whole thing.
Oh,
Thinking like the rolls and stuff, like that's the most basic stuff, but that's where the shoulders usually pop.
He's in top shape. And
It already,
right
so
now is
little
looking for a dentist
thing that we
after
didn't
that
know,
spinning
it already
kick
has,
right to
as
the
of this
jaw.
moment.
Oh no!
It wasn't the kick. Like Robbie did nothing wrong. It was just the roll that set
Yeah,
me.
okay.
But you'll see, there's a spot in the match I'll be able to point out to you
Living up to the moniker
where you
of
can
the
actually
Limb
see
Reaper,
me go and pop it back.
working over those leg joints.
oof.
It's one of those things where, again, like without giving a cheap plug, you talked about this when we did our episode, that this is something that you're going to have to be mindful of and deal with now
Oh,
for the rest of your
God.
life.
As he pulls out leg, he puts pressure on the knee.
Yeah, touch wood, touch wood,
Get it
touch
now.
wood. Still a couple of hours left.
That scorpion deathlock. Torture able to make
Credit to Robbie, knowing that it was his second match back. He really did look after me in there.
Mm.
Torture in a world of trouble right now.
He's a good lad.
You know, he gave the people what they wanted as well as making sure
This
he
crowd
didn't
kinda torn between the
put me in
two.
any danger. So
Torture just grabbing that bandana of Robbie Eagles and choking him with it. Robbie Eagles continues to wear that bandana. It's an opening for him, but there, Torture.
I mean, if you're going to wear it, you might as well use it. Oh, I can appreciate that. Jumping for that, Connor.
and there it is.
Eagles still suffering.
Oh, when you put. Oh, jeez.
Looks like he's struggling to get a breath right there. That's what we talked about.
And you
last
got it
week.
in right there and there
He loves
while you
putting
while you
people
in the
pain.
ring.
He loves inflicting pain, and he knows
Fuck.
all different ways to do it. See how he was grabbing that bandana of Robbie Eagles, that trademark bandana, and just choking him with it while he's wearing it.
Hey, that's the voice of Pierce Austin.
It
Now
sure
Eagles
was, mate.
dragging
It sure
Robbie
was.
Eyeballs across the top of that ring rope.
Thought that voice sounded familiar. Oh,
Robbie trying to fight back now with a knife-edge chop. There's another one. Goes for another one. Torture catches.
oh, beautiful.
Now he slams
Oh,
into the
nice
back.
little STO.
That's it.
It might have been the STO. I don't remember it being out for this long.
Over Robbie Eagles for Torture. What would that mean with
No, I don't remember anymore.
if Torture's able to get the job done and pin?
I always love like the little things that the people that are going to watch this don't actually see, because obviously, Dan, when you edit this, you tidy it up. But as we watch it, we get a bit of lag or fast forwarding. Literally, Torture hit the STO, and then it was like a fucking cartoon where he like was like running.
And put him in a prime position, but he made
Yeah, so it's at this moment now. You'll go towards
Torture's not a dumb
turnbuckle.
guy. He's a very smart guy. He knows that if he can beat Robbie Eagles here tonight, he becomes a made guy. He creates a name for himself. Off
And there it
the
is.
win Off Robbie Eagles' back.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, but that was like, that's so sick, but so cool at the same time.
However, I do
But
agree.
kudos to you for getting it back in.
Shoot him right to the top, even a competitive match.
Mate, I don't
Right
think
here.
hell would have
He
stopped
is
me
doing
finishing.
far better than what I think a lot of the odds makers gave him.
Like I've had to like pop a finger in here or there in a match, but like you're full on shoulder, dude. Fuck.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
Neckbreaker there.
Beautiful.
Here it is. This is it. Again, what I'm seeing out of Torture is something that a lot of people may not know. He is definitely great at his fundamentals and making a really good showing of himself.
I seriously thought that they were gonna like make a shit torture joke
Look, I've known
just then.
Torture
Like we're seeing
for
torture.
many years. Good friends with the guy. I can see he's starting to get frustrated here.
It's part of the
He's
fun.
starting to think what he has to do. And he's going to go to that place to inflict as
I love
much
that
pain
little
as he can, but
personalized
Robbie
touch
cuts him
by
off.
Pierce on commentary. Like, no, I'm really good friends with him. I'm telling you right now.
Last night, that was my first appearance of seeing
Oh,
Torture.
now Pierce is great to work with.
And he is definitely holding his own here against a world-class wrestler like Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles, however, coming back with a big forearm smash.
Not because I was so scared of the
Dropping up and a
Banderas.
drop kick to the knee. Both men down now. Robbie Eagles trying to change the momentum of this match.
This is exactly why I love Australian wrestling, because you can have two people who are two different sizes and have a really good fucking match. While if you go to anywhere else in the world, it's usually a squash match or just like David versus Goliath, but they do it really shit.
But see, my favorite part about this is like the super indie style is another rant for another day, right? But a guy Torch's size, being as agile as you still are, still holding your own. Like, yeah, okay, Robbie might have the speed advantage, but the actual agility, although on the surface doesn't appear that way, is still pretty even.
Jumping, turning kick to the chest.
Oh, look, trust me, it's nowhere near even. I'm sure he's only in third gear.
Failing to capitalize on those kicks and getting the pin right.
Don't sell yourself short, mate.
The height you got on that fucking flatliner, and then that corkscrew neck breaker, man. Like,
Robbie really getting this crowd behind him now. What are we going to see here?
Oh,
Double knees to the chest, rolling back, swinging around. 619 drops him down.
fucking cheeky little meteora.
And we just saw Torch's soul leave his body. This is it. Come on, man. No. Only a 2 count, says referee Fozzie. Torture showing resilience right there, able to kick out.
Yeah, what I do like when it lags and stuff, you realise how lucky I did. I kicked out of that just.
Yeah, like it did it on mine too. It was like a freeze frame almost, and it was like.
Robbie continuing that attack on the leg.
I even bloody got myself and going, I hope I kicked out of that.
Into a spinning hold. Signaling he's going to go up top. This could be the 450 splash if he hits that across that leg.
You mentioned it, how
the Torture is on borrowed
with
time.
me coming, able to work him back
Climbing to the top rope.
onto
Taking a lot of
that
time,
babyface
however.
and heel role. Like, it just showed we really got, that part of it over too, which is good.
I appreciate that you being in your hometown and having your family there still went along with it and didn't act like a mark for yourself. I know so many people that'd be like, "Oh, it's my hometown. I've got to be the good guy."
Nah, I'm not a good guy.
Torture picking him up.
Beautiful.
Oh,
every time
God,
you do
that was
that,
great.
man, and obviously the fact, like the height difference here helped, but every time I've seen you do that,
Now this could be
pops
it.
me every fucking time.
Oh, Robbie
That
Eagles
was 3.
kicks
No, it was just
out
1.
2.
Now, this is my favourite part of the match.
That's
What's coming next is my favourite part of the match.
Taking back control of this match. That could have been it right there. Tried the front.
Oh,
nice.
That's it.
I love it. I love the detonator.
Sa.
I had to do it. Like, really, the backstory to me was, it was, like we all know, like I was saying, it may have been my last. It was kind of my little homage to Greg. It's sort of like my thank you was, they say, what is it? Imitation's the most sincere form of flattery.
Yeah, that's right.
There is actually a match between you and Greg that I actually want to check out myself, to be honest.
Him going for the blockbuster here. This is the move that injured him.
Oh,
the height, mate.
look, I don't know how deep you want to go into this in terms of kayfabe torture, but what goes through your mind with that, dude? Because we talked about this on our episode about how, like, you were kind of, tentative about doing the move. Like, knowing that you were going to miss that, like, was that hard for you?
I felt it was needed.
Needed?
I felt it was needed. So it was just one of them. It was a bit of hesitation.
Oh, beautiful. But I suppose in the moment you don't really have time to kind of sit there and contemplate it, really, do you? 4.5.
Locking in that Ron Miller special. Got him in a submission again. Back to that leg. Robbie moving his body.
Oh, Jesus.
I'd just like to point out that that's illegal. His hand is underneath the rope, therefore he's out of bounds. Therefore, that tap out does not count.
Thank you. Thank you, Ref John.
I honestly think these two men putting themselves to the test here tonight, JT.
The fact that I'm a legitimate half-blind referee.
Torture.
It's like what I said. It's like it'd be great if you come to Victoria, Mud, because like my roll to gag is all referees are fucking blind, and you come in like, yeah, look, John's a perfect example.
I mean, people don't realise that, like, I've been legally blind my entire life. I was a legally blind referee. I was a legally blind wrestler. I'm a legally blind graphic designer. Work that shit out. I don't know.
Well, that was different to watch that.
Honestly, dude, I've got goosebumps for you right now because, like, we discussed this on the show, and like, it's two completely different situations, obviously. But knowing, like, you know, that you had that moment of maybe I won't be able to wrestle again, to then you had Scott Magnum. Obviously, that changed to Luke Watts, which is a huge opportunity. With all due respect to Scott Magnum, you go Luke Watts and Robbie Eagles, not even just back-to-back weekends, but back-to-back nights. After everything you came back from, that's like I'm feeling the vibes for you, honestly.
Like, it was a lot, like, in the sense of obviously 2 ring crews back to back with a brand new ring was a lot. Like, no one had set that ring up till that show the night before, and then to have those two, you know, they're 2 caliber opponents you'd kill for on a normal. Like you said, if you got them both in 1 year, you'd be cheering. And to have them both back to back after like an injury that was pretty much meant to deem me on the shelf for life, I was stoked. It was one of them things not so much for everyone else, but for myself, I needed to know that even if I did call it quits the next day, I could hang with the best of the country has to offer. It was just one of them. I'm a big, I need to know. Like, if I went in there and shit the bed, I went in there and shit the bed. It's that simple. Well, at least then I know. Going, yep, bloody, those guys, like, they are better. Don't be wrong. On a whole nother level right now. But even to be able to hold my own in there, that's something that if I did end up calling it quits the next day, I could hold my head high on.
But that's the thing, though. You said yourself, like, you joke, oh, you know, Robbie was only in 3rd gear. But at the time, Luke Watts was the Slam champion. Robbie Eagles, of course, is signed to fucking New Japan. Like, there's a reason he's there where he is. Like, they are both legitimate world-class athletes. And you, to your credit, like, you know, you can say that, you know, they carried the match, this or that. But at the end of the day, it takes 2 to tango. You went in there, you did what you had to do, and you hung in there with them, again, after such a long time away back-to-back. So that's something to hang your head high on regardless, man.
Exactly. Because not many people get those opportunities to, you know, be with some of the best in the world.
Well, even that night, like, I'm pretty sure even on that night too, Max Ramirez was wrestling Trevor Lee, formerly known as Cameron Grimes. And the show pretty much was able to end on me screwing Grimes, giving him a beat down, and I got to take a double foot stomp. So that whole weekend was kind of just surreal in its own right.
Mm.
And it was your birthday weekend too, you said. So, like, fuck, dude. Like,
the very next day after that show. Happy 30th to me. I could barely bloody move.
Like, I had my first ever match on my 23rd birthday, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. But wow, I think he's topped me. 30th birthday. Like, that's fucking sick.
I've only been in the industry for a year, and I haven't celebrated anything on my birthday yet, so no. I can't share anything with you guys. Well, that was the first time I ever got to see anything of you, man, and I gotta admit, I'm impressed. I'm gonna have to check out some more shit of yours, because yeah, I've instantly become a fan, especially if you're going after Bunso, Rob, like, that's Filipino for little brother, because obviously Robbie's Philo. That was great, man. Like, where can we find you on all your socials?
So on Facebook, it's got we'll have Torture and Trauma Services, the tag team page. On Instagram, it's mitchellburns.tortureoff. And that's pretty much it. I can't work out the Twitters and the threads and all these other things. That's too complicated for me. That's just out of my ballpark.
Oh, that's fair. No, it's Twitter, and well, X is now called, is always fucking weird to me. I don't know how to use it either. Since we've got to plug stuff anyway, there was something you wanted to plug, Johnny. What was it?
Well, there's a
Because
couple of
you were
things.
so because not only should you be proud, I'm fucking proud of you after this.
So I've actually written some notes here. One thing I didn't write down, but obviously you mentioned it before. Episode 150 of Court and Conversation just came out. I interviewed former TNA Tag Team Digital Media Champion, just debuted on AEW the week after the conversation, actually. Crazy Steve. Don't get me wrong, like, I hope it does well in numbers, but from a selfish standpoint, as a legally blind professional wrestler, this was a very personal episode for me, and the fact that I not only managed to get this, but talk to the man for almost 2 hours all up, and the episode's about an hour 50 once, I think it was an hour 40 for the actual interview, and we talked a bit beforehand, but yeah, if you guys could check that out, that'd be awesome. But I got to interview Crazy Steve, and I've talked about it on this show how many times, Dan, and something happened. I was talking to Jake Gibson, and it came back up, and the next day I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna. Within a 24-hour period, I had emailed Steve and gone back and forth with him on Facebook, and the episode was done and recorded and in the can, and that's a thing that happened.
Oh, I just wish you were right next to me when you talk when I read the message. I screamed like a little girl. I was like, oh.
I literally said to Nova, Teak, whatever you want to call her, I was like, hey, I know that tomorrow's date day because it was a Saturday we recorded it. Usually that's date day. But this is Steve's availability. And she went, it's fucking crazy, Steve. Let's fucking go. And
your missus is a Crazy Steve fan, so I can only imagine how
she
much
actually
she
was
scored for
wearing
that.
her Rosemary shirt for the interview. I've got a couple of little things here to plug. I've actually written down. Since the last time we've been on, right, I have published my very first children's book. I've written, illustrated it, all the above. The digital version is available exclusively on my Patreon. It's only $10 Australian, $6 US. It's a pinned post. Once I've finished all three, I want to do like the Amazon self-publishing and yada, 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 but I want to get all three on the Patreon first. But yeah, $10, my digital book is there. The audio book is coming. But yeah, that's just a little thing that I've done, and I'm proud of it, and I've had some good feedback on. And on top of that, obviously, we haven't done this dance since September. In October, we had the Emma Butler Memorial Show. We raised just over $1,400 for the Emma Butler tongue cancer charity. Over the course of the two shows, we have now raised just over $4,000.
Wow.
I myself raised about $120, $130 between the show, and recently, just this past week, I actually sold another one of these. I have them here still at home. I have 4 medium, 5 large, and 7 extra large. They're $30 each. $10 goes to the charity. You can prepay one to pick up at a show, or I can post for a little bit extra. We can work it out. And also, I only have one hat remaining. One more Crossfire hat. It's taken me almost 4 years to get rid of them due to COVID and injuries and everything else. But yeah, the main thing is the Radiation Kick shirts. We've raised a lot of money for the Emma Butler Memorial Show, and I can't wait to do it all again in November of this year. But yeah.
You know what? I've forgotten how to fucking do the outro because I haven't done it for 6 months. But I'm going to give it a go.
Well, has Torture got any events coming up? You forgot to ask.
Oh, yeah. Torture, what's coming up for you, man?
At the moment, mate, I'm after my actions at Integrity this weekend. I am currently suspended.
Bullshit. I won't say that. Dingo will beat me up.
No, but I'm actually going to be down in your neck of the woods for work. We're going to be going to Melbourne, put up some scaffold for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
We're working on the good old P&O boats. And so really at the moment, I won't be back in Sydney. Well, it's probably 2 weeks here left in Sydney. Then I'll be in Melbourne for the entirety of March. And yeah, probably won't have nothing coming up till April, I'd say, unless, anyone watching from Melbourne, there's a wrestler while I'm down here. You know where to find me.
Oh, I'm about to say, if you want, why don't you come and work for Alpha or Adrenaline or
Alpha
MXW?
Adrenaline MXW.
Hey,
I would say other promotions, but I don't work for any other promotions.
I mean, look, he just proved he can hang with Robbie Eagles, so MCW. Fuck it, let's go.
I don't work for MCW, so I can't make a sound on that one.
I'm forever just fantasy booking shit and just manifesting.
I'm going to treat this like I treat most of my life. Eddie Holt's go. I really don't care. I'm going to be down there working, anyway. So if anyone needs a job, go. I'm free Saturday and Sundays and Fridays for the entirety of March.
Well, let's talk later after this. And with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's where you'll get this these episodes. Jeez, I've really fucked up the outro on this one. And make sure to check out our podcast. And until next time, we'll catch you on next one. Peace.
Peace.